6 hyenas had the elephant calf trapped in a lethal circle. The baby was tiny, no more than 3 months old, spinning in place and screaming in a desperate wail for a mother who was nowhere to be seen. The alpha male, with a jagged, torn ear, made the first lunging strike, snapping his jaws inches from the calf's legs. I slammed the gas pedal to the floor. The Jeep roared, tearing through the scrub. As I closed in, I saw a third hyena aiming for the hamstrings. It was a textbook kill tactic. Immobilize the prey, then tear it apart alive. The Jeep burst into the clearing. I grabbed my rifle and fired a shot into the air. The crack of the gunshot rolled across the savannah. The hyenas scattered but didn't retreat. They stopped 20 paces away, communicating in eerie, haunting whoops. I leaped out and fired a flare gun at the alpha's feet. It exploded in a burst of crimson light. The pack finally broke and vanished into the tall grass, but I knew they wouldn't go far. The calf stood trembling, blood dripping from a shallow bite on his tail. He stepped toward me, tucking his trunk against my leg, with a pitiful whimper. He was completely alone. Leaving him here was a death sentence. The hyenas would be back the second my taillights faded. I grabbed the radio. "Base, this is Kofi. I've got a lone calf in the eastern sector. No sign of the herd. I'm tracking them." I scanned the ground and spotted telltale furrows in the earth. A herd had passed through recently. The grass hadn't even sprung back yet. I started moving and the calf immediately trotted after me, refusing to fall behind. He was terrified of being alone again. The trail led northwest toward the hills. 20 minutes later, we hit a dry riverbed. I froze. A herd of 30 buffalo was grazing, with massive bulls patrolling the perimeter. Cape buffalo are among the most dangerous animals in Africa. The lead bull lowered his head, locking eyes with us. I placed a hand on the calf's head and began to sidestep, inch by inch. The bull made a mock charge. The calf jerked, ready to bolt, but I grabbed his ear and held him steady. My heart was thundering, but I didn't speed up. We circled for 10 minutes until they finally lost interest. Half an hour later, I heard a deep rumble. I picked up the pace. The calf trumpeted and sprinted toward 8 adult females emerging from the trees. But something was wrong. The nearest female flared her ears and let out a warning roar. They weren't accepting him. This was the wrong herd. To them, this baby smelled like a stranger. One female charged, her tusks whistling through the air. I lunged forward and hauled the calf back just in time. He wailed piteously, unable to understand why he had been rejected. We had followed the wrong trail. We headed back to the fork in the trail. 3 hyenas were watching us from a ridge. They had been stalking us this whole time. I took the second path, a faint trail belonging to a lone female. Suddenly, the calf lifted his trunk, catching the air. He let out an excited chirp and bolted forward. We broke into a clearing where a massive elephant lay motionless under an acacia tree. The calf rushed to her, nudging her face. Trying to get her up. She didn't react. I pressed my hand to her neck. She was alive, but she was. On her front leg was a massive, infected abscess. She couldn't walk without agony, which is why she had fallen behind. I radioed for a vet team. 30 minutes later, Kwesi and Abina arrived. They administered a light sedative to keep her standing while they worked. As Kwesi made the incision, a flood of fluid erupted. The calf panicked, trying to shove the vets away, but I held him tight. "Easy, little guy. They're helping her." For an hour, they cleared the infection and administered antibiotics. Kwesi turned to me and smiled. "She's going to make it, Kofi." As the sedative wore off, the mother's eyes cleared. She let out a low rumble and wrapped her trunk around her baby. For 2 weeks, I visited them daily to change the dressing. Suddenly, the calf began to recognize my Jeep, running out to meet me with happy trumpets. A month later, the wound was just a scar. As I made my final visit, the mother's real herd appeared on the horizon. The calf wrapped his trunk around my arm one last time, then turned to follow his mother. They walked away together, vanishing into the golden haze of the savannah.